Hello, marijuana stock traders, checking in on the sector midday here. It's 1:55 p.m. Eastern. Mostly want to just cover some things that are shifting from where they were at yesterday and also go over being wrong and how that played out. Stay tuned.
Introducing the Chart Guys Swing Report, a weekly digital publication that uses technical analysis to identify long-term market opportunities. Understand the market from a swing trade perspective. Follow institutional money as it rotates from sector to sector, and make the most of the Swing Report's weekly trade opportunities, with key entry and exit levels provided. Performance is tracked and updated weekly. For more information, visit us at chartguys.com. Now, let's check out some charts.
So CGC, what stood out most notably for me this morning was the lack of volume. Huge volume yesterday, and this morning pre-market from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., volume was non-existent. That was unusual. So that was an initial red flag. The play that I was looking for was the strong close into the gap up open, and we obviously did not see that. So that's red flag number one. So I instantly then look to exit my position in the morning. Why? Because I did not get the setup that I was looking for, which would be a gap up open. So we opened, failed to break the high of yesterday by about 17 cents. I sold half of my position into that initial morning pop, and then stopped out the second half of my position when our hourly support at $18.95 broke. So essentially just gave back profit from my entry in the 19 teens from yesterday. And it's been a flip-flop day where I'm now spinning my tires a little bit, because yesterday my Canadian MJ plays profit offset my US MJ swing holds. And now today I gave back some of that Canadian MJ profit, and my US MJ swings are going up from where they were yesterday. So not a whole lot of change as far as the account value in the last 2 days. Did make a trade on CGC as well. Nice falling wedge. We actually had two falling wedges, and I look for falling wedges when we have bear breaks with a lack of follow through. So look at this 2-minute time frame. Low of the day, bear break for seconds. This bear break lasted less than 2 minutes by 5 pennies straight into a 6-minute bounce. Bear break by 7 pennies, straight into a 6-minute bounce, double bottom. So there's your falling wedge on the 2-minute time frame to start the morning. So bulls could have looked to make a play off of 1865, giving wiggle room under that level. We broke bullish, we got some decent little follow through, a couple percent, and then we had a 5-minute falling wedge start to form. And it's the exact same concept. Look at the low of the day. We broke it by 4 pennies into a 15-minute bounce, and then we double bottomed yet again. So I was ready for that one, and I made a bullish entry off of that low. I believe my entry was in the 1870s. I sold half to have a risk-free position, put my stop at 1855, and then sold on this bull break. We had a triple top at 1905, 1906, 1907. Why am I selling on a bull break? Number one, I wanted to lock in that profit, but number two, anticipating the possible scenario that bull break on the 5-minute time frame just results in an hourly lower high. And that remains to be seen here at the end of the day. Maybe I sold early. We'll have to wait till the close till we see that or not. But again, selling into strength is something I often do to lock in profit. And if it keeps going up without me, I left some money on the table, get them next trade. And again, that is my style, leaving money on the table, not losing money in as many situations as possible. So daily inside bar, big picture. If it breaks bullish, we're looking right back at 1987 and 2013. If it breaks bearish, we will have an equilibrium to be watching with our high, low, lower high. And if it breaks bearish, we will look for a higher low compared to 1744. If it were to break bearish, we would lose a significant amount of momentum in the short term. So bulls really want that inside bar to hold strong. APHA broke to a lower low as well. So no bounce follow through here. And I've exited my very small bounce attempt from yesterday. The hourly downtrend is our guide. And even on this bounce, again, we're just looking for an hourly lower high. We have not set a clear hourly higher low and higher high since the earnings reaction. And as long as that is the case, we are not going to see a bounce. Hourly trend change is a must. ACB daily inside bar as well. Again, very short-lived bull move. Gave back a lot of that. We went from 471 to 420, 10% of downside, and bears had it easy today, top fishing highs of yesterday. CGC rejected by 15 cents. ACB rejected by 4 cents. Cron rejected by 1 penny. It's up at the high of the day, though. Cron is closer to breaking its high of yesterday than other names. 608 will be the next key level. And TLRY rejected from its, actually it broke the high of the day, but only by 2 pennies. So pretty much an inside bar there as well. So the long story short is we need follow through tomorrow to keep this breakout move going. And I guess it's not a breakout move unless we break over the recent resistances. But to keep this bull move going, inside bars must break bullish tomorrow. VFF, same thing, inside bar. It was already a bit lackluster compared to its peers yesterday, and that is certainly the case here again today. So we've got IIPR still struggling to find a daily high or low. And again, I don't like the rising wedge on this daily time frame, and I will potentially be interested in a short next time we bounce, looking for a daily lower high. As of right now, we're looking at 127.33, and we would have to break 123.32 to lose the daily uptrend. That's still about 4% away. So not at risk of losing the daily uptrend in the short term, but clearly the bulls are struggling to change the hourly trend back in their favor, as every day has been a lower high over the last 4 days. Ideal scenario for me, set a daily high or low and make it back up to 132 to allow me a bearish entry, and then put my stop over that high. CURLF breaking out. So CURLF has stood out for the bulls the last 2 days on the USMJ side of things. And I said yesterday, I was very skeptical of the bulls, very cautious, initial red flags. And it's more, I was using the analogy of a child. I'm not mad, I was just disappointed. So now we're getting a little bit more follow through, and I'm a little bit more pleased. And if Curaleaf can break 970, that would be a great sign. Our recent weekly resistance, the daily bull flag has confirmed one level to get over in the short term. So it's all about 970 and an increase in bull volume today, keeping in mind we got a couple hours left, which is a good sign for the bulls. GTBIF, also strong, but we're not breaking 1630 convincingly just yet. And again, go to GTII because the wicks on GTBIF make it a little bit more confusing. GTII is currently 10 cents under the top of this move, and we need to break 2155 convincingly to then be at the highest price in many months. So we're right there on the verge. One thing missing, bulls would like to see more volume. Again, it is going to be more than yesterday, but it's not huge. We want big breakout volume. We don't have that. We have a slow grind breakout. Bulls will take it. It's just not your flashy big move. TCNNF held the low of yesterday, little double bottom. Failed to break the high of yesterday, so we are a bit range bound. And again, it's the upper wick that's a bit misleading. Look at TRUL. It does not have that same upper wick. It's at the high of the day, and it's approaching key 2908. So I'm constantly looking back and forth between the US tickers and the Canadian tickers because these market makers on the OTC can be misleading with painting these candles. That's what we used to call it. And I used to participate in that years and years ago. Want a strong close on your stock? Buy a little bit at the end of the day, paint the close as high as possible. And that's definitely part of what goes on the OTC. So I cross-reference on the CSE. Daily bull flag still alive. Have to break bullish in the next couple of days. CRLBF also right up at its high, but have to break 775 for the convincing weekly bull break and follow through. So a bit more is needed. It's a great start. It's a solid day, but we need more. So I am still in my USMJ. I nibbled to add back to TCNNF and GTBIF yesterday. Small positions adding on. And I am out of Canadian MJ. I'll jump right back into day trade CGC if the bulls show up and break that inside bar bullish tomorrow. But trying to stay a little bit more focused, as when I have too many swing positions on, I get a bit distracted and my trading performance drops a bit. So wrong about the CGC gap up, gave back some profit, but pleased that USMJ still hanging around. We now have 10 trading days to the election. We're seeing a lot of back and forth about stimulus. We don't know if there's potential banking relief for the sector in any possible stimulus bill. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But what we want to see is just a slow and steady grind up into the election. The harder we run into the election, the more I'll be looking for a sell the news reaction. And that's something we'll be watching as well. So we'll check back in a few days to see how this plays out. Let's look for a strong close on USMJ. So far, so good. Couple hours left to go. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you soon. So for 20 years, the previous owner would just mow the leaves into the grass. So the soil here is very loamy. And just walking around barefoot, you can feel all the moles and voles that have dug a network of tunnels all through the yard. So I'm starting to collect some of the leaves. Don't want to deplete the lawn of carbon, but that's a good source to use, whether it's mulching in around things and stamping out weeds or covering soil to allow moisture content to stay in it so things don't dry out too much in the spring. So playing around with leaving leaves in a bunch of areas in the yard, but taking some along paths and such. Things getting big enough to start picking consistently.